This morning we are focusing on the next step in the world of sound, which is actually a step back to a better version of sound. Technology can make a lot of things better, but that's not the case with recorded music, the quality of which has suffered as we move to iPods and now streaming. But there is hope as more and more people are finding. Just watch and listen.
This is the most sensual fun you will have that will not end you up in a 12-step program.
Our journey to the unveiling of what might be the best record player in the world in Brooklyn, New York, began in an old clothing factory in rural Pennsylvania. Fleetwood, PA is a lot different than Brooklyn.
Here's where the things get made.
Jonathan Weiss is the founder and CEO of Oswald Mills Audio and Fleetwood Sound. After majoring in international relations at Princeton, he pursued a career as a documentary filmmaker until he realized his true passion was sound. And set off on a quest to build the finest sound amplification system ever. The kind of personal craftsmanship you see here is almost unheard of, and everything is made by locals using local products.
The slates from here, the woods from here, our welding shop is right over there. The people who do water jet cutting, this is cut on a 5-axis water jet machine by Mennonites. You're sitting here on a treasure trove of both materials and human know-how and abilities.
The quality of this work is almost as impressive as the sound it produces. Why is it needed? Because Weiss says over the past several decades, the quality of recorded music around the world has entered a very dark place.
The problem is that in technology, the idea that things get better, cheaper, smaller, that works with things like computers, but it doesn't work with sound. Because sound waves, they're our size. What we hear is actually our size. And you want to miniaturize it, you screw it up.
When most of us listen to music these days, we hear MP3s. Introduced in 1993, they took off with Napster and became ubiquitous. Why are MP3s so bad?
95% of the sound is gone. Can you imagine watching a television set where 95% of the pixels are dark? You wouldn't watch that at all. But your brain and your ears are so much more sophisticated with sound.
When you say we're missing 95% of the sound,
what
does that mean? Because people say, what do you mean
The algorithm for MP3s, the reason that you can have 10,000 songs on an iPod is because 95% of the information in the music is gone. It's compressed away. It doesn't come back on the other end.
That is where these giant cone-shaped horns come in. Weiss says their size and shape make them the best way to amplify and direct sound without any distortion. The idea isn't new. The design dates back to some of the earliest phonographs, which required a way to amplify sound without electricity. Those original players used wax cylinders, which later evolved to vinyl records, which many argue is the purest way to listen to recorded music. People seem to be getting the message. Last year, for the first time since 1986, sales of vinyl outstripped CDs. Turntables can cost between hundreds of dollars or $300,000. The brand new player Weiss unveiled for us inside his Brooklyn showroom. It's great. It consumes you.
We're making stuff that's really a throwback to when sound really mattered and when it was really the best that it ever was.
For most people these days, it's background music.
So that's tragic. All these records over here, none of these artists made those things to be background music.
You hate talking about the prices.
I do.
Why?
Because, we're in a culture where price is the product, where people go like, it's a X hundreds of thousands of dollar thing, and then that's what it is. I don't want that for this. I want people to look at this and go like, wow, that's cool looking. I wonder what it sounds like.
Does it bug you that the vast majority of people will never be able to afford this?
I'm working on that, by the way.
Fleetwood sound is intended to be a lower-cost option to the Oswald Mills brand. Thousands of dollars for equipment instead of hundreds of thousands of dollars for equipment. For Weiss, music is a spiritual experience he hopes the next generation is willing to invest in.
What art is more intrinsic to the human condition than music? Everyone listens to music and makes music everywhere. But what we've done because of our culture is we've reduced music to something that is really just a pale shadow of what it was.
What do you want your musical legacy to be?
I just want people to realize what is possible.
Some of these cone-shaped horns are so powerful, if they're really turned up, they can actually put cracks in buildings.
Really?
Because of the sound waves, because the sound waves are that powerful. Now, normally, you don't have to do that. We didn't do that, but sitting there in the showroom at Oswald Mills and listening to it, you have to be there and you have to experience it because it's something else.
You look like you enjoyed that.
Yeah, yeah.